Hello, class. Today, for my entertaining speech, I'll talk about the time I went to a Travis Scott concert, and it was like a pretty wild night of my life, so I decided to do it on this. So, this all happened about a year ago when I was a senior, so yeah, like about a year ago today. And me and all my friends are like Travis Scott fans, and if you don't know who Travis Scott is, he's like one of the biggest rappers in the world, and he makes really good music. So, anyways, we saw that he was coming to Capital One Arena, which is in Washington, D.C., and I live in Maryland, so it's about an hour away from me. So, me and my friends were talking about going, but at this time it was during our lacrosse season, and the concert would have happened in the middle of the week, so the next day we would have had like practice and school. So we were really like contemplating on whether we should go or not, but after discussing and thinking about it for a little, we decided we should just go because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. So buy your tickets, and then the day of the concert, we get out of school and practice, and then we all drive up to the metro station, which there's a metro station about 20 minutes from where I live, and then from there it'll take you down into the city, kind of like New York City. But anyways, so we get there, we get on the metro, and then when we get on the metro, this weird guy that kind of looks like crazy, he starts talking to us and asking us all these weird questions like where are we from, where are we going, and all this weird stuff. And it was really weird, and it made us uncomfortable, and we had to like deal with that for like the whole like half hour metro ride into the city. So after that, we finally get into the city, and then once we get in there, this is like our first time like really being in like DC like by ourselves. So we really had no idea what we were going, like where we were going or what we were doing. So we get there, and it takes us like a while to like figure out where we are and how to get to the arena and stuff. So then we finally find the arena, and then find the place where we like show them our tickets and get in. But one of my friends had brought a bag, and they said you weren't allowed to bring like bags, or which he had like a backpack, you weren't allowed to bring that in. So then we just walked around looking for somewhere where we could hide the bag, because we were by at this point way too far to like bring it back to the car. So we just find a random bush, and then we hide it in the bush, and we just hope that the backpack's still there by the time we leave the concert. So we do that, and then we finally get in to the arena. And so we get into our seats, and our seats are in like the upper section, or like the nosebleeds, which is like kind of far away from everything, but that's like all we could like really afford at the time. So we get up to our seats, and then we wait a while, and then the opening act comes on, and the opening act was like okay, but it wasn't nearly as crazy as it was going to be when Travis Scott came out. So we sat up there for the opening act, and then after a while Travis Scott finally came out, and then so we sat in there, and once he started performing, it was just like a crazy atmosphere. Like people were just jumping up and down everywhere, going crazy, like singing all the words to the songs and stuff, and people were just doing crazy stuff. And so about like a quarter to halfway through the concert, we thought to ourselves we should go try to sneak it into like the lower level, or like the floor level where like there's like a big crowd surrounding the stage, and we're like, screw it, let's just go try to get down to there and maybe sneak in, or try to convince one of the security guards to like let us through. So we go down, we tried three entrances. The first entrance we tried, the security guard like wasn't having it. They weren't letting us go through. And same thing happened with like the second entrance we tried to get into with the security guard. But then the third security guard we tried, they said he'd let us slide by if we each paid him $20, which was kind of a lot, but we were like, whatever. It's like a once in a lifetime thing, so we just did it. We paid him. He let us through. So we got to the floor level, and the floor level was even like crazier than when we were at like the nosebleed seats. Like there's this people jumping up and down, like raging like crazy, and there was like a little fence kind of like in between the stage and the crowd. People like kicked those down, and it was just like really loud and crazier than anything I've ever experienced. And we were pretty close enough to where we could like get a pretty good view of Travis Scott. And so like a little more time goes by, and usually at Travis Scott concerts he like usually likes to bring like a fan or a few fans up on the stage to like just get up there and dance around. And so he's like looking at the crowd, looking for people to bring up, and he chooses one of my friends to go up on the stage. So my friend gets up on the stage, and then he starts singing this one song called Can't Say, which is like a really hype song, I guess you could say. And so my friend gets up there, he's just jumping up and down, going crazy. And then right as the beat drops, he like just jumps into the crowd, like towards us. And then like he's just crowd surfing, and he just like crowd surfs like 15, 16 like rows back, and we couldn't even find him for a while. And that was pretty crazy. And I talked to my friend after, he said it was like his adrenaline was going crazy when he did that, and it was a crazy experience for him. So then that happened, finished the rest of the concert, and ended around like 1 o'clock. And so we get out, we leave the arena, and then we somehow find our bag that we hid earlier, and we were really surprised because we thought someone would have took it, and it was kind of like an obvious spot where someone could have taken it. So we get that, and then we get back to our car, my friend's car, and then we realize that someone like punched his windshield or window and like broke in it and was like just trying to take whatever he could find. But luckily my friend brought his wallet, so he didn't really take much. But so then we got back and we went to school the next day. We were really tired, but at the end of the day, it was like one of the most crazy experiences of my life, and I'm really glad I went. It was worth it. And I just don't think anything could ever top something like that, and it was really fun. So